In today's video, I fold a map, I try to straighten a wire, and I print a German driver figure. Hello fellow modelers, let's make small German Schwimmwagen model and diorama. I purchased Academy set which also offers fuel truck and bomb loader, but my main interest is just a Schwimmwagen. The kit consists of just a handful of parts, yet features impressive details and is quite straightforward to assemble. The construction is simplified, but it fits nicely. I suggest using sharp tweezers to make it easier to handle with small parts. Schwimmwagen is an interesting amphibious vehicle that can operate on land and in water. There is a small propeller, but it's too monolithic, so I cut it out and left only the frame. I found the separate propeller in 2nd Academy US set. You can notice that the plastic is too thick, so it is handy to make the edges much thinner. I use electric grinder and nail files. The mesh for engine cooling is only indicated, so we can replace it with a real mesh. And we can also make ventilation holes in the back section. I do not have any detail set for this kit, but I will use some spare parts from old sets, like these hinges. I recommend drilling out lights where are still in the sprue, the handling is more comfortable. I use micro drill bits for electronic boards, which I purchased from AliExpress for a few dollars. On the side are holes for reinforcement pipe, but I don't use the kit part, so I must fill it. Black superglue is strong and stable filler. I aim to create iconic Schwimmwagen from Germany's Ardennes offensive. You can notice different tire patterns and few more details. I discovered detail printable wheels on Cal3D. I went ahead and print them out along with a few additional features. Schwimmwagen has a nice accessories like shovel or a pedal, however I must drill out a hole in the back holder for correct installation. In the kit is missing no-tech light, which I found in the spare parts from old kit. The convertible roof also needs some improvements. First I split the folding construction into 3 pieces. Then smooth fabric edges and make holes for better fitting, otherwise the roof part is too tall. It is better to make a new reinforcement pipe from copper wire. The car has also spare wheels on the back. I found some German figures, but I only modify them slightly for best fitting. I looked at the photos of the real machine and found more missing details, like the front hook. There should be also 2 more hooks on the sides with a reinforcement construction. And I used steering profiles which are perfect for these modifications. I printed some accessories to make the model more interesting. During a detail inspection, I noticed that the right headlight was missing, so I cut it out. Adding or improving details took some effort, but now looks more like a Schwimmwagen in the photo. I am unifying a model with a primer, which works like a perfect base for acrylic paints. The car has typical late German camouflage, consisting of 3 colors: dark yellow, deep green and red-brown. It is good to spray stains with a highly diluted paint, otherwise the transition wouldn't be smooth. The old Academy decals are not the best and the details are more like a Tetris, so it is good to have some spare decals in your stash. The Ardennes offensive took place during the winter, resulting in landscape filled with a mud. This time, just a mud. So let's do some serious weathering. I work with the enamel paints, because they dry quickly, and if you are not happy with the outcome, you can easily clean them up using enamel thinner. I am imitating mud splatters with a synthetic brush. You can notice accumulated mud on the spare wheel. I use dry pigment, which creates a rough texture. It's only important to fix powder with a pigment fixer, which works as a binder. The paint is flat and doesn't have a depth. The texture with a pigment looks more realistic. The front windshield is cracked, so I must destroy it also. The foil is from some spare goods packaging. I cannot forget to make it weathered. Good for fine scratches is toothpick. I use acrylic paints and different shades to make the fabric roof more interesting with the highlights. I am imitating cover glass with a clear UV printing resin. However, the light has a fabric cover to reduce brightness. The dry pigment has a matte finish, so if you want to achieve a fresh matte, try to apply a layer of a clear varnish. I printed figures. They don't have a precisely laid camouflage uniforms, but in this scale, I can paint them in camouflage pattern and will be hardly noticeable. I improved the driver's head with a 2-component epoxy putty. I printed a small map on the professional laser printer, because I could not achieve such detail quality. The camouflage seems too dark, so I changed the shade and repainted some dots. Soldiers covered the license plates, so the enemies didn't know that the SS divisions were nearby. And the last detail is window rubber sealing. It is probably my smallest 72 scale model, so let's also make the smallest diorama. I am creating the frame from balsa wood, and the dimensions are 8 to 8 cm. I have my own mix for ground, which contains water, plaster, sawdust, PVA glue and dry pigment. This way I can nicely spread the terrain texture. This texture doesn't have soft details, but the dark soft sand can improve it. When the mix is still fresh, I can push into the mud tracks from wheels or tanks. A A little vegetation on the side of a road adds some life to my diorama. I use static grass, variety of dry flowers, tiny leaves and some dry moss. You can often find these natural materials right in your local landscape for free, or you can explore various handy products designed for railroad models. I tried to imitate wet mud with a Vallejo still water, but when it dried, it cracked horribly. I filled the cracks with a PVA glue and sawdust. The better and more resilient water is resin, so I mix it with a dry pigment and apply the effect again. This layer is without problems. One of the last details is the round signpost to Malmedy. The paper is thin and it is good to place it on thicker plastic board. A lovely detail is hanging rifle on the signpost. I must make it also. I am imitating a belt from lead wire, which I flattened. I must paint weathering on the side post because there was a huge amount of mud splatters on it. To provide more details, I painted the third figure. It nicely filled the empty space on the corner. The scene is set in winter, but it's important to include a wider variety of vegetation. I am looking to include some dry flowers or roots in shades of brown. If you are a beginner, I highly recommend making these small dioramas. You will make them fast and you can play with details. Also, you can test many techniques. You do not need a diorama with 6 vehicles and 50 figures. You will probably struggle to finish it, and obtaining good painting or detail quality is hard, particularly if you are making large-scale models. So feel free to make something similar and you will enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and heartfelt thanks to my Patreons for their incredible support. See you next time!